And we are live from Ben's truck. For On the Button.
In Chesterfield, Michigan.
Yeah.
That's how you could pronounce it wrong.
It sure is, bud. Yeah, we're just kind of parked in the street outside of my house, and...
It's 3 a.m. and we're drinking. Surprise.
Perfect.
Surprise! Cop just went by.
I know. Yeah, and we just... Yeah, we were looking up laws and shit. What happens if he catches it?
Well, surprise guest.
I like,
Officer Daniels.
I like if we parked in my
Get
driveway.
out of the car, sir.
If we parked in my driveway, it wouldn't have been
A problem at all, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well. We're bad boys. We take risks.
Yeah. Sometimes I go in the...
Watch out, ladies. One at a time.
Yeah. So, UFC on Fox 24.
Mighty Mouse Hayes
He goes for the 10th straight title defense.
to tie the Anderson Silva.
And, yeah. I'm pretty sure that Hayes is kind of a toss-up fight for him, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me you don't feel that way.
Yeah.
Why do we drink and do this?
Yeah. No, we should start with Ashley Evans Smith and
What's her first name? Vieira.
Ketlin Vieira.
Terrible first name.
She's Brazilian. There's
yeah.
a chick named Betch from Brazil, so.
And she keeps stealing victories in fights that we think that she lost.
Yep.
But Vieira is known more for her grappling, yes?
Yeah, she showed a strong wrestling base in her first fight, getting a narrow split decision. I remember being a hot prospect coming out of the regional scene, but didn't really impress too much.
Yeah. Kind of over. That was she came out around the time where Fox would always just way overhype some people.
Yeah.
Kind of like Uda before the Collier fight.
And I think now, due to the lack of depth in the women's bantamweight division, she draws Ashley Evans Smith, who has had a few good wins in the UFC so far. And I think that she has the edge in this one.
Yeah, I think definitely in the striking. My only worry is if it does go to the ground. I didn't see enough like offense from Vieira in her last fight. She didn't push it to get to the ground enough. And I think if Evan Smith can put together combinations and keep it on the feet, Evan Smith takes this easily.
I agree. Yeah, one of the bigger factors is, can she get up when she gets taken down?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it'll happen at some point, but she could lose a round just by not being able to get back up.
Yeah, that could be bad for her. Just because her last opponents, too, haven't really been grappling based for a while.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
Was she the one that fought Carmouche?
No. You talking about Chukagian?
Oh, no, Renault. It was Renault.
Oh, yeah.
With good ground game, but she beat Renault.
Yeah, impressively. And I don't know how far she's going to go in the division, but I'd say this is a very close fight, decent opening to a pretty deep Fox card.
Yeah. We said this before UFC 210. We were more excited for this card than we were for UFC 210.
And it's living up to that so far.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be even all that great to do better than 210.
What's kind of funny is Jeremy Stevens had to get the towel out for his weigh-in. It was like, uh-oh. But no issues with that one.
I knew people would be poking fun at that for a while.
Oh, definitely.
Next up we got...
Also, just random fun facts.
Hit it.
Before the Towelgate incident, 72 straight fighters had made weight.
So Gastelum hadn't fought at welterweight for a while.
Yep. Lineker doesn't fight at flyweight anymore.
And good for Charles Oliveira.
Yep. But seriously, that's pretty impressive. I think they're making some strides into preventing those issues.
Do you think it correlates with a lot of fighters are moving up and cutting less?
I think it's more they're adjusting, or it's like the metrics have improved so much when it comes to training and cutting weight that it's easier for them to either make the weight that they're going for or get stronger in divisions where they'd probably fit a little better.
So you think the science has pretty much gotten to a T?
Yeah, exactly. It's gotten to that point where it's not old school, you know. It's easier for them to just make weight. Unless you're, you know, light heavyweight champion of the world.
It's not like back in the day.
And have been a wrestler since you were a kid and cut weight your entire life. Yeah, unless you're that guy, then you're fine.
Back in the day in boxing, it's like, all right, train as hard as you can. And then, I don't know, wear this garbage bag and throw up for 3 days. Good luck.
Yay.
How about Zach Cummins and Nathan Coy?
Honestly,
even his name gives me no faith in him.
This fight's, it's pretty one-sided. Zach Cummins is, he's never going to be champion, but he's an impressive welterweight with a strong left hand and a pretty well-rounded wrestling grappling to go along with it. He's beaten some pretty decent fighters, and Nathan Coy is, he's not that, so it should be a pretty easy knockout for him.
Yeah, he's 6 years younger. That helps a lot. Coy didn't do anything impressive so far in his career.
Yeah, he's 1-3 in his last 4.
And we always like Cummins, pretty much his overall striking game, and he's got a chin on him too.
Actually, take that back. He was the 2 fights I was looking at were from Strikeforce. He's 1-1 in the UFC, but still
lost to Roberts. Win against Webb, which we never heard from again.
Still don't know who that is, but yeah, that's a pretty one-sided fight for me. And this next one, a little bit closer, but I'm fairly confident.
I think it's safe to say this is a Smith, you know, Anthony Smith getting the knockout or losing the fight.
Yeah, and one thing I've liked about Sanchez's game is he's intelligent and he finds ways to avoid dangerous situations. When he fought Khalil Roundtree, who is known for his striking and his power, he found ways to avoid strikes, duck right under them, take him down, grind him out. And even in his last fight, he didn't even go for a takedown just to prove that he had the striking to compete in the UFC.
Yeah, and he won that fight handily.
So, I think he's competent enough on the feet, and his grappling impressed me incredibly, so...
I would say that I don't think Sanchez is going to finish the fight, but I think he will.
Nah, he's not really
dominate
that kind of guy.
And get that decision.
Yeah, grind him out for 3 rounds, get a 30-27.
Yeah, even with the new rules.
Yeah, because Smith he'll put up a little bit of a fight, but I just don't see him getting his hand raised.
As long as Sanchez is intelligent and Smith doesn't land something huge, I see that being Sanchez's fight all day. What about the looking for a fight? Is that Devin Clark? Devin Clark versus Collier.
This fight, this is one of the closest ones on the card. I was a little back and forth. When I heard that Clark was looking for a fight guy, I kind of didn't want to take him because those guys normally suck. But
yeah.
Honestly, this one's probably going to be a brawl.
Yeah, brawl alert.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, 100% fight of the night alert. If we saw anything from all of Clark's fights, he likes to trade. He likes to find ways to dart in and out of the pocket, land big shots, and leave.
Stay standing.
Yes. Oh, yeah. He's an advocate for the striking. And Collier, he likes to throw some wild stuff, like spinning back elbows and kicks, and really get creative with ways to light you up.
The way he put away Udo was terrifying.
Oh, that was insane.
But it's kind of interesting because
Perfect liver kick.
The fights we were watching for both these guys, they were both kind of against people that were trying to clinch them up, and they didn't want to.
Yeah.
So it's going to be fun to see them just stand and trade. My gut is actually telling me to go with Clark. I think he's going to land one of those big shots right on the chin on Collier.
Fucking flip-flapper over here.
Hey, call me Sam.
I think the biggest... Well, I don't know anything about these two guys, but I'm going to go with Alan because I think he's the better striker. What?
And he wins. But, yeah, I'll take Sam's method and take Clark.
But, I'm also taking... No, I'm not.
No, you're not. You sure as shit not. Because then I'm taking Collier. Just kidding. I believe in Clark, actually.
This one was a little tough, but I see Collier landing more. I think that's going to make the biggest difference. I think it's going to be a wild brawl. I don't think anyone's getting put away. But I think it's going to be exciting and fun, and Collier's going to do just enough to squeak out a split decision.
That's fair. I think Clark actually has to put Collier away.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I think he touches him on the chin in a way Collier can't recover from, and TKOs him.
Just dick right to the chin. He just could recover from that.
Sure. Yeah, honestly, got a black guy just putting a dick in your face, you're probably going down. I don't know where the dick came in, but that's up to you.
You talked about just touching him on the chin.
You want to do the street...
fuck him in the face.
the sweeper of the balls over the forehead, like... Jim
yeah,
Norton.
yeah. Jim Norton. He fucked us up, man.
I know.
That stand-up special really fucked me up.
I forgot what he was even called, because it scarred me. Is that the cop again?
I hope not. I really, really hope not.
Yeah. I'm going to turn everything off. Hold on. Let him pass. It's not the cop.
It's not
All
the
right,
cop.
we're good.
We're good.
It could be the drug dealing neighbors, but at least it's not the cop.
They might shoot at us, but at least it's not the cop.
Although he might shoot at us. How about Aljo Sterling and Augusto Mendez?
This one, it was kind of very much bounce back from a couple losses for Sterling. Try to set him up for a win. But also, Mendez isn't a tough out. Mm-hmm. He's technical, he's smart, and he's going to give him a fight. Oh, fuck, that truck turned around. Oh, God.
He's going to pull up right behind us. We're probably parked where he likes to park.
Well, he can suck my balls.
Honestly, he'll probably get towed again tomorrow, so...
Oh, shit, is that the neighbor?
I don't know.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I didn't think so. It seems too new.
He's pulling up behind us.
Things are bad.
Oh, yep.
We're going to get shot on live. Hey.
Mom, Dad, I love you. Sam, you're okay.
Zach Lucasian, you owe me money.
$5 from the NHL playoffs.
He was right on our ass.
He sure is.
Should we go in my driveway? Nah, fuck it.
No, he's got something to say. He can come talk to me about it.
Live on the button.
Should I get out of the car and then he'll just get in his car and drive away?
Well, if he wants to walk up to you, then get out of the car. I'm taking Sterling.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, Mendez is a good fighter, but when you get your start in UFC at 33, 34, there really isn't a lot of hope for you. Sterling has too much talent to keep losing. and he's a young guy. He's fighting out of a great camp in Largo Weidman now, and I think he's going to be he's a special prospect. I can't see him losing this fight.
I think it's a bad matchup for Mendes.
Yeah.
I think this is the kind of fighter where
it feels like Sterling will stay on the outside and just kind of pick him apart.
Outpoint him. Mendes won't be able to get in the pocket. He kind of has to get those overhand rights and lefts. And
especially with all those kicks.
I don't think Sterling will let him.
Me either.
I think it stays standing. Good for the fans, but probably a decision for Sterling.
I agree.
We got Tim Elliott coming off of the quite a show after the Ultimate Fighter of Champions, and then getting to fight Mighty Mouse.
Yeah, you know what? he rocked Mighty Mouse, and no one saw that coming.
Yep.
His style is so unorthodox, and I remember people asking Mighty Mouse like how he would approach the fight, whether it's more difficult for him to face a technical striker compared to a guy like this. And he said, it doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, I think it played a big part. Because when the way that Elliott fights, he doesn't really know what he's about to do until right when he's doing it.
Exactly.
And it really makes it hard to counter, and it really makes it hard to predict where he's going to be. So when he's throwing fucking spinning head kicks from the ground, it's going to be a wild fight.
You could tell Mighty Mouse was having trouble. It takes me back to when the only time I would score on Kyle when we played basement hockey is if I accidentally lost the puck and it went in.
Really?
And that's where I came up with, if it can fool you, it can fool the goalie. And that's Tim Elliott's approach to fighting.
This dude's just sitting behind us with his lights on.
The right side, the door's been open, and I'm pretty sure someone's just standing there looking at us, but not moving.
Yeah, fucking dare you.
Smolka's a submission expert, though.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just going to keep doing the show until they shoot us, so.
Smolka in the Borg fight, he lost. Borg was just... He just floated so well.
And he was landing hard shots when during the exchanges, they were very back and forth on submission exchanges.
Yeah.
But Borg was landing shots during it, and I think that hurt Smolka.
Yeah. Smolka, he does a very good job with his grappling. And I think that will play a part because this fight is probably going to get to the ground. One thing is that, Smolka has never really been able to use his reach advantage very well at all. And I think he has a 2-inch height advantage on Elliott.
Yep.
But I don't know if his lankiness will factor in with this fight. I've been really back and forth. I'm probably going to change my pick 3 times before the fight. But,
today.
Yeah. Right now, I feel like Smolka is going to be able to stay on top for most of the fight. It's going to be a ground exchange, but he's going to be a little better with the grappling. I'm taking Smolka by decision.
Right. I don't think Elliott's able to put him away.
Yeah.
But I think he'll be flashy enough to get the judges by decision. I think we could both agree there's a good chance it could end up just being a split based on both of those situations.
Dudes are just fucking sitting in the car, too. Maybe they have a podcast.
Oh, my God. No, they're just contemplating how to kill us. Bobby Green and Ruslan Magomedov. Bobby Green.
This is one of the closest fights on the card, but I don't really know why.
No, Green's a pretty big underdog, because remember I put a couple bucks on him just to double up money.
Maybe I'm thinking of when the odds opened up.
Yeah, that's true. I remember that. Because I was like, really? I'm taking Magomedov all day.
Yeah, exactly. it's really hard to come back from getting knocked out in devastating fashion twice in a row.
Yeah.
Once that happens, you start to get a reputation for having a glass chin. And it kind of feels like Green's gotten to that point where all the brawls have added up and he's really just not going to live up to that anymore.
To which Diego Sanchez says, pussy. I can still do it. But Magomedov, I don't even think he has to knock him out. I think Magomedov could hurt him, could knock him out. But I think he's going to...
No, yeah, I think stylistically, yeah.
Magomedov will stick to what he knows he can control, and that's putting Green on his back, landing shots from on top. Green won't be able to do anything. It'll look like Green's just getting tossed around.
I agree. Yeah, despite the glass chin and Bobby Green's expected hesitance, I agree. Magomedov, I think, will grind him out.
This could be a good opportunity for Magomedov to try and get a knockout victory and get people behind him a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean,
but that's
he's
risk.
not Khabib, you know.
Yeah.
Khabib, it's a little more like about the ego, but some of these other Russian Sambo guys, it's more about, I want to win, I'm going to win.
Yeah, that's pretty much how you should approach it now, too.
Yeah.
But this debut guy versus Williams fight has become the most one-sided fight I've seen since, like, Ronda and Holly Holm.
I'm pretty sure it's the most one-sided UFC debut.
Oh, probably, for sure.
Ever.
I'm trying to think of a fight that's been this one-sided.
It's funny that, like, what's his name? Duquesnoy, something like that.
Yeah, it's a real... Yeah.
He opened up, like, minus 350.
Yeah.
And less than a day later... it's minus 1,100. Like, yeah. That's insane.
I caught him at minus 800, and I was like, really? All right, well, sure.
I haven't really seen a lot from him. I caught a little bit of the Patrick Williams, his last win, where, honestly, he got a little lucky. Clipped Alejandro Perez and submitted him. But he... did not really impress me in any one area. Yeah. And I think that's going to play the difference. I think he's just going to get lit up early and finished.
Yeah, 8-4 is a tough sell for a UFC caliber right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know, you got to think about that a little bit. How much of this debut guy's, favoritism is just based on how bad Williams has performed.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's flashing at you.
Should I get out?
Get out or move?
Get out.
Okay. Things are bad. I work in 3 hours.
You sure do.
God damn it. Well,
someone coming over here?
Not on this side.
Not on this side either.
So continue?
Yeah, I guess. Where were we?
We're going to Volkov and Nelson.
This is a tough fight. Very different stylistically. Obviously, Big Country's reputation is pretty well known.
Yeah.
Knockout artist, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Hasn't really been able to show it a lot, but, he took down Black Beast 7 times. It's got to show you something.
Yeah. The dude's 40, too.
Yeah.
40 also.
40, yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, it's impressive what he's been able to continue to do. He's, 2-1 in his last 3?
Yeah, with one of them the loss being a split decision with Derek Lewis.
Yeah, that's incredibly impressive for his age, especially coming off, I think it was 3 or 4 losses in a row. But in Volkov, his debut was against Tim Johnson. Mm-hmm. He got rocked in first round, second round, something like that. It was either late first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think late first round. And he was able to bounce back from that and kind of outpoint Tim Johnson, stay on his feet.
He grappled up well with him, too, which is impressive with Tim Johnson.
Yeah, I agree.
I will say he should not come in the way he did with Tim Johnson with Big Country.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you get caught once, if you were sloppy, it could end the fight. I mean, with Volkov being 6'7", look at Stefan Struve.
Yeah.
He got knocked the fuck out.
Just wing that hand way up there like crazy. It was awesome. And we got who you taking in that fight?
Right now, originally I was leaning towards Volkov, but right now I'm leaning towards Big Country. I think he has more ways to finish the fight. And Volkov, I think his best shot is being able to stay on his feet and outpoint him. But part of me is trying to think of how possible is that.
Yeah. I feel like that's what he should do. That's what he should be training to do.
Yeah.
But who knows what he's actually training to do. And
True.
how he's actually going to approach the fight. Because based on how he approached Tim Johnson, it probably would have been the smart idea to do the same thing with Tim Johnson, but he didn't.
And some of these guys that are, he's 28, but when it comes to elite MMA, he's inexperienced.
Yeah.
And it's kind of whether, if he's mature enough to make those decisions.
But with that being said, I'm taking the young guy to beat Big Country by decision. The old 40-year-old.
Okay. I mean, I think there's still a little pop on that big right hand, so.
Oh, for sure. It's just, is Volkov able to really avoid it? That's the fight.
Should be interesting, definitely.
Definitely one of the most toss-up fights of the night.
Oh, for sure. And, there's so many of those on this card.
Yeah. How about, we get to the main card with Jeremy Stephens, number 5, and undefeated Moicano.
Renato Moicano. He's a talented fighter. Couple good wins. His last against Zubaira Tukhugov. He does a good job of, using his hands, really. He doesn't have a problem leading, and he doesn't have a problem countering either. He really just likes to stand and trade. He's technical. He's aggressive. But this is fucking Jeremy Stephens.
Yeah, Jeremy Stephens, man. He's obviously needs to make a statement after he was just discredited by one statement from Conor McGregor.
Who the fuck is that guy?
Poor guy.
I have the t-shirt.
But the way I look at Moicano, he likes to stand and trade. I'm pretty sure Stephens is going to want to do that as well.
Yeah.
But I want to say 5 out of Moicano's 10 victories have been rear naked choke.
Oh, yeah. Choiks. Rear naked choiks.
Rear naked choiks, man. So, Stephens want to watch, if it scrambles to the ground, don't be giving up your back just because, 5 times, one of them being in the UFC.
I was just about to bring up the fact that Moicano also has a pretty decent wrestling game and grappling and really likes to work from the clinch. It's kind of the biggest X factor in the fight is whether he can get Stephens down and keep him there. But, in my opinion, I think Stephens is too strong for that.
That was my feeling, too.
Bermudez wasn't able to keep him down. That's probably the biggest example I have.
Yeah, I think if it's straight
if you're looking
wrestling,
at wrestlers, yeah.
Stephens is going to be strong enough. He has to cinch up something like a rear naked.
And the way he was able to win the decision against Hennenbrau.
Yeah.
He was able to stay on his feet and not go chasing the knockout. And he was able to actually outpoint a guy who's known to do that his whole career.
Yeah, and I lost that fight, didn't I?
He sure did, champ.
That was dumb. But
that was one of my more like proud moments that I really like believed in Stevens there.
And I believe in Stevens. I think that this
and
is
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can touch that guy. I think Stevens lands a really hard combination, right left.
All right.
And puts Moicano down, drops him hard.
Yeah.
First round.
I think it's a ducking right hand. He catches him right on the chin. And he just kind of falls over.
Moicano.
Oh yeah.
Started his career all over in Brazil.
He's a good fighter.
Yeah. But
and you know, I think he's due for his first loss.
Stevens is going to be the guy.
This is such a big jump.
Oh yeah.
In competition.
Like wait, probably too big.
Yeah.
But
oh yeah, definitely.
You know, opportunity knocks. It's a good opportunity for Moicano.
Yeah.
If he upsets Stevens, you know, that's the number 5 feather.
It could be like Moreno against Smolka.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that's his best shot is if he catches him.
Yeah.
Moving on to probably, you know, this might be the most exciting fight on the card.
This could definitely be a pay-per-view.
Yeah, this could lead Fox Sports 1 card.
Oh yeah.
On its own.
Guaranteed. This is only here because no one would fight Jacare, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. Until Whitaker.
Robert Whitaker.
Whitaker has been... Huh, what's this guy doing? They're backing up. Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see. Do you have roll windows or power windows?
I have roll windows.
He left with his lights off.
There they are. He'll come back.
I don't think that's their truck, dude. I think that was someone just trying to get drugs.
Oh, probably. We probably scared him off.
That's what made me think that, because I was like, they don't have a black truck.
Huh.
And then I was like, did they go get a new truck?
We almost got fucking shot.
Yeah, I know. We probably should have ducked when they went by with their lights off.
But also, we're not fucking bitches.
I have to pee, though.
We got like 3 fights left. Jacare and Robert Whitaker.
Yep.
This fight was a little tough for me, even though I've been an avid... Jacare is the best middleweight contender.
I could see this being one of those fights where there's a choice that you know is probably right, and then there's the guy that you like a lot.
Yeah.
And Robert Whitaker is a guy you gotta like a lot.
Just looking at the Brunson fight alone, we just reviewed this about an hour ago. His precision and timing with some of his strikes is just, it's gold. It's just so impressive. There was this it was like a half jab hook that he threw, like a hook uppercut that just went like right under Brunson's right hand as he was coming in on an explosive tirade.
Yeah.
That really just kind of like solidified how good of a striker he really is.
Especially because Brunson did not give him room to breathe, let alone try and counter or land anything. He just bull rushed him for like 2 minutes.
When is the last time we saw Jacare against an elite striker? I wouldn't count the Belfort that he fought.
No.
And honestly, I wouldn't count Romero in there because his striking is purely power.
Romero got lucky as shit with that spinning back fist.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who, going back maybe to Luke Rockhold, which was the last fight he lost in 2011.
But
that was also a close decision.
If you want to flip that, who was the last good, like this good of a grappler? I mean, maybe nobody's as good, but even just middleweight good grappler that Whitaker has faced.
Too fucking shay.
That's what's beautiful about this matchup.
Yeah, it's it's really, the first round is going to determine the rest of the fight. If it gets outside of that.
I agree.
Because it's really going to be, how does Whitaker control the distance? Or who takes control of the distance? Whether Jacare is able to find ways inside, to work through combinations, to clinch up and get takedowns, or whether Whitaker is able to stay standing, circle, jab, work the outside, and outpoint him, and make Jacare try and chase him around the octagon.
Yeah.
But
sure.
Also, it's fucking Jacare, so it's really hard to pick against him.
Yeah, in my head, it's Jacare kind of lets Whitaker, let Whitaker go first, see what he does, start timing some shots, which Whitaker's unpredictable. It's going to be hard to do, but there's nobody better at it than Jacare at timing shots for making takedowns.
Yeah, we can't understate how good of a wrestler, grappler Jacare is.
Yeah. Black
Because
belt
I remember
jiu-jitsu,
you were comparing him to Damian Maia earlier.
which is probably the only person that I could ever bring up as being as good as Damian Maia.
Yeah.
Because Damian Maia is the best. But
True.
It doesn't help, or it doesn't hurt Jacare that he's a black belt in jiu-jitsu and a black belt in judo, where
That's why he's so
Whitaker-
comfortable in the clinch, working for takedowns.
that helps him when it clinches up. But Whitaker is just purple belt in jiu-jitsu.
It's literally going to be, how do they come out in this camp?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Whitaker spent the whole time working on his jiu-jitsu, and his defensive wrestling, and his counters.
I think my reason for being pretty confident in Jacare is the only way I see Whitaker winning is he has to land something devastating on the way in.
I'm telling you, he can either win, which that way probably, yeah. 80% of Whitaker's path to success.
There you go.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Is to clip him at some point. Whether that just changes the fight and it goes to a decision eventually, or whether he's able to finish it right then and there. But also, I think Whitaker can straight up outpoint him on the outside. I think he has a speed advantage on the feet, and he moves his feet well, just enough to stay outside of range. So
I see that side, but you have to be mistake free.
yeah.
And I don't think he will be against
I
judo.
don't know about mistake free, because I think
Jacare's speed isn't there.
he'd be able to get out of the clinch once in a while, Most of the time, yeah. As soon as the alligator gets his jaws on you, he's not letting go. But
this is a fun fight.
this is gonna be a fun ass fight, yeah.
I might be more excited for that fight than anything.
Honestly, the next fight's gonna be pretty fun too.
Yeah, fucking Rose and Michelle, the
But-
karate hottie.
Before we gloss over it, I want to point out that I am taking Jacare,
Good for you.
but it's more like
I know it's
60-40,
hard.
where yours is like 99-1.
I'd say 90-10 because I can see, I can kind of see Whitaker clipping him and hurting him and getting the decision.
But if Whitaker wins, then
Oh yeah, no,
you're my bitch.
yeah, because
Right?
I'm way more Jacare than I think you are.
Yeah.
But how about
I'm just trying to stay grounded, because there's no one that's unbeatable.
yeah? Are you listening, Mighty Mouse?
Yeah, all right, sure.
I know if it was
Yeah,
anyone
this is
but
going to be the guy, right?
Wilson Hayes. Although I remember saying it was at 198. McGregor will eventually lose, but I don't think Nate Diaz will be the guy.
Uh,
Well, shit. Rear naked choke. Yeah. Mic down! Mic down! That's gonna be super fucking loud. But
Oh,
I don't
God.
really care too much.
Sorry. Hey, sorry there, eh? Didn't mean to give you a spook.
Bork. I don't know. I don't have any other meme references.
Where's my super suit? What was the lead up to that?
Roses are red. I like eating fruit. Where is my super suit?
Gotta love it.
That's good shit. Rose versus Michelle Watterson, man. So Rose,
This fight was bound to happen. And
Yeah.
I think everyone was looking forward to that.
Watterson took some time off between some great fights at Invicta and then a loss in Invicta. And I think it was after that loss there was a long break.
Also, she's a mom, too.
Yeah.
So I think that factors in a little bit.
I think that got her more popularity than any of her fights, too. That Fight Mom special
yeah.
that Fight Pass put out.
True.
And then it was on other social medias, too. And she became very popular just from that. But then go to Paige Van Zandt doing that jumping switch kick on Beck Rawlings. Paige Van Zandt had all the momentum in the world, and Watterson just destroyed her in the first round of their fight.
Which I predicted.
I don't remember who I took in that.
Oh, I was pretty confident that Watterson would win.
I've never had too much faith
honestly,
in Paige, but
I do remember now. You started with Paige, and I think I convinced you to go with Watterson at the end.
Kind of like in this fight.
Yeah. This one, I remember, you started with Namajunas, and you're starting to come around.
In my defense, I came around to Watterson after watching Beck's last, I'm Beck Rawlings, but Namajunas' last two fights.
Yeah.
Where great strides in footwork and boxing, but I think Watterson's the matchup that's going to ruin her, elite boxing being what makes her get the fight. And once it goes to the ground, they're both so good at making submissions, but I think Watterson has been a little bit more crisp in her technique than Namajunas.
She strikes me as the more intelligent and less emotional fighter, and I think that plays a factor. Namajunas kind of works, lets that fire, channel through her striking and how she approaches every fight.
I blame that fully on that she's still dating Pat Barry.
Oh, God. Is that why she shaved her head? It's like Britney Spears.
That's so that they have twinsy haircuts.
There we go.
Uh,
But in reality, this is going to be a very fun and exciting fight.
For
I
sure.
think most of it will be on the feet,
Yeah.
and it's going to be kind of a chess match of sorts.
Yeah. Because in my head, Watterson should keep it on the feet, should keep the distance strikes, and just get that decision. If it goes to the ground, I think it's a toss-up, and that's why I don't think Watterson should try.
But also,
her down.
I think that they're both good enough to avoid submissions. But also, it's like, how are they going to use those to advance their own positions and get out of positions and reverse
I think
to top? But again, I think most of it will be on the feet. I think Watterson just has that advantage with intelligence.
Yeah.
I don't mean to be a dick, but
yeah.
but I'm gonna be.
No offense, Rose. This is just who
Her fight IQ
who grew
just
more.
just that notch above. And with Jackson Wink in her corner,
Yeah.
that's always a good sign.
Down Cerrone.
She's gonna have every technical aspect taken care of already.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to end up coming down to. So, both got Watterson getting that probable slight upset. I think.
Yeah.
I think it is.
And hell of a fight.
It's close, but let's talk about Mighty Mouse, man. Going for history. Going to tie history.
Yeah.
But
Hayes is no slouch.
no.
He's fun on the feet. He likes to throw wild, explosive combinations.
He's clearly got power on the feet.
Yes, definitely. Throws some wild stuff, and he uses that to chain together takedowns. Because his biggest strength is his grappling.
Yeah. Wicked good jiu-jitsu.
But also, it's kind of, you're going against Mighty Mouse, who is probably the most well-rounded guy in the UFC.
Guaranteed.
Maybe that the UFC's ever seen, honestly.
I would make that case. So fun, explosive, powerful on the feet, but pretty sloppy for Hayes.
Yeah. And Johnson is too smart and too quick for him to come out and be sloppy.
Exactly. I think the speed for Johnson will be what is the downfall for Hayes on the feet. If it gets to the ground, you guys know it's the UFC. Anything can happen.
Honestly, I think one of the biggest factors is going to be strength.
Yeah.
Because Hayes is expected to be the stronger guy. And it's whether Mighty Mouse can compete with that. Because we haven't really seen a guy that can get him down and keep him there.
Yeah.
There's been guys that have been able to take him down, but never a guy that could control him once he had him there.
I remember them saying that about Cejudo, but Cejudo didn't get enough time to even
He never really had a shot with that.
Those knees were vicious. But I want to point out two things. One being that there's no reason not to watch this main event, right?
Yeah, no reason.
The history of a 10 title defenses.
Which may never happen again.
I don't think it ever will. That was the other point. Talent now and matchups. Like,
it's
everybody's so
closer.
good now.
Yeah.
And I think that no one's going to have more than a few title defenses because there's always somebody that's elite at a certain thing that's going to be the matchup that makes you lose. So we're never going to see something like this again.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why I'm really pulling for Johnson. There's, a little bit of hope for me because I hope he gets the 11th and becomes the lone. No disrespect to Anderson Silva.
Yeah,
That's
one of
tough.
the best to ever do it. Maybe the best.
Yeah.
And just how crazy and
I would
impressive
say
all his wins have been.
I would say more well-rounded is Mighty Mouse, though, even than
Yeah.
Anderson Silva.
Oh, definitely.
Because the ground game.
Silva's a good grappler, but he didn't really have the wrestling game. He never needed it.
Right.
He was always able to use his reactions and counters and speed.
And if it got to it, clinch work, and it never got down.
Yeah.
Because he put a knee through your face.
That doesn't normally help the other guy. You get a knee right to the face.
When do you think we're taking Johnson? When do you think it
Yeah.
happens and how?
I almost talked myself into picking the upset, but I was like, what? What the fuck are you doing? No.
I could see the
This is-
case with Cejudo,
Yeah.
not with Hayes. Just
Yeah.
because he hasn't fought enough, names.
Well,
on his
yeah,
way
when
up.
you got Cejudo, who's the black belt, Olympic wrestler.
Yeah.
Gold medal Olympic wrestler. But, yeah, when it comes down to it, Mighty Mouse is crazy good. He's only been getting better. I think that's the biggest factor into his success, is that he's always out to improve himself.
Yeah.
Whereas some guys, like how Chris Weidman came out and said, once he became champion, he plateaued instead of trying to get better with every fight. Got sucked in to the championship mindset. But Mighty Mouse, it's always about getting better. It's always about being one of the best to ever do it.
Right. Which is amazing to see such growth out of somebody who's pound for pound number one in the entire UFC.
And he's still working harder than guys that just entered the UFC, you know?
Right. So,
he's definitely a guy that you can admire.
Oh, yeah, for sure. My gut just says that the first round, Mighty Mouse lands early, but Hayes does get him down, but can't put him away.
I was
and then
just
second
about
round,
to say that. Holy shit.
See, we think about fights pretty much the same. Second round, he ends up putting him away.
Oh, that early?
Yeah.
I think second round, he wears him out a little bit. Third round, on the feet, he starts landing a little more. Starts rocking him, stunning him a little bit, and is able to finish him with punches in the third.
I also thought
early in the third.
TKO.
Yep.
It's gonna be with hands on the ground. I like it.
But straight up, top to bottom, it's gonna be a hell of a card. Tune in.
Yeah.
You know, follow
in a
all our
couple
shit
hours today. Yeah.
Get us more fans, you bitches.
This has been good. I like it.
And yeah.
UFC on Fox 24. It's
Fucking
2 hours early. Remember
4
that?
a.m.
And we are live from Ben's truck. For On the Button.